All right, in this video, we're going over a study done by the US Bank where they surveyed 1,000 different small business owners and 1,000 different small business employees, how they felt about the upcoming year, where they worked at, the business that they owned. Did they feel optimistic about the upcoming year? What were the main stressors that they felt this past year? One of them was labor shortages. Another one was AI for small business employees. They felt that it was essential for their work, but also it might take their job in the future, as well as competition was another big one. But we'll go into them. They had 5 different stressors. One of them, too, why a lot of you all visit my channel. You're a small business owner, you're looking for the best way to obtain funding. They said that 4 out of 10 small business owners had difficulty obtaining enough funding to operate their business and grow their business the way they want to. I know that's a huge important factor for you all. I wanted to share with you all some information from a major national bank on what they found with small business owners and their employees, and maybe it's helpful for your business. Unfortunately, they don't dive too deep into the obtaining funding part, but that's why I'm here to tell you where to go, where you can find more information. But also, you might find some of this other information helpful for your small business too. I'm going to scroll down here. It is touching, but I'm going to scroll down here to show you how they surveyed this 1,000 different small business owners, employees. So I'll pause this. All right, I'm back. I finally found the research page. Here's how the research was broken down. They did a 20-minute survey for this 1,000 different U.S. small business owners and 1,000 U.S. small business employees. They also did oversamples of 300 Hispanic small business owners and 300 Black small business owners. And a lot of those came from LA, Phoenix, Charlotte, and Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm not sure, they don't break it down much more than that. If the small business owners and employees came from different parts of the country other than those 4 cities that they listed. But I imagine they did. But anyway, even with this information, it's still a good grasp on how business owners and employees are feeling about the business that they own or work for. And then they broke it down even further. The survey respondents' annual business revenue. So in dark blue, that's showing the U.S. small business owners, and light blue, that's the U.S. employees. So $0 to $500,000, that was about half the small business owners, and same with the employees. 500,000 to 2.5 million, it was about 30% for each. And then 2.5 all the way up to 25 million, that was about a quarter for the small business owners and under 20% for those U.S. employees. So that's how that was broken down. And I'm going to go back up to the top here. I'm going to spend some time going over this executive summary. And the ones that I want to focus on are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. So 1, small business owners, employees remain optimistic toward the future of their small business that they own or work for. So that was surprising to me based on how the past year has gone at small business owners. You hear a lot of griping from them about how business has been tough with inflation and many other factors going on, but they said that they're optimistic. So we were pleased to see that. Number 2, small business owners are feeling the impact of their top macroeconomic stressors. That's nationwide, mainly competition from larger corporations, as well as other small businesses in their industry that they compete with at a local, state, regional, and national level. And then the economic environment as a whole, 2023, we felt a lot of that from inflation. Inflation was the big thing as far as the consumer too, that you're feeling the costs go up and up. A lot of people felt that, especially with groceries, but especially when you're buying from small businesses where they have to buy their materials to make their products or keeping employees on staff. Everything went up this past year. If you didn't raise your prices, then you're really struggling. Number 3, a strong majority of small businesses have grown in the past year, despite, if your company just needs bodies to put out there, if it doesn't take a lot of degrees or you don't need a lot of qualifications, even with that, it was still hard to find some labor out there. So good to hear that small businesses are still feeling good the past year, despite having those labor issues. Number 4, small business owners see the benefits of AI. I think we've all seen that. If you spend any time on chat, you see how powerful it is. It makes your life a lot easier in a lot of ways, as well as other automation tools. And while small businesses agree, there's a lack of clarity on how automation will change the nature of the job. So they're worried about how AI will affect future careers and jobs. On a personal level, I use a lot of people. I think AI, what it's doing is it's allowing more of a global economy as far as the labor. So while there may be a labor shortage in the US, I think depending on what kind of company you do, but a lot of service-based businesses that are not physical labor, but what I do. So I provide information and services to give you all access and education and knowledge about where to obtain debt financing for your small business. A lot of stuff that I need, I can hire people overseas in India or in the Philippines to do. If you're familiar with a virtual assistant, They can do a lot of my marketing needs, social media posts and stuff like that. They can edit my YouTube videos, write out my email campaign. So a lot of my marketing needs are met from overseas because it's a lot cheaper for me to use them, and they still give me the same quality as what I probably paid 2 to 3 times the amount here which is a huge cost saver for me. And then it also, someone that's living in a poorer country can make a pretty good income for their needs based in that country that they live in. So I think for me, it's more about AI opening up the world economically in a good way, but it's making the labor a lot more competitive in the US. Bookkeeping, a lot of that you can do overseas now. So a lot of the jobs that we used to have in the US are getting replaced overseas because it's cheaper for businesses. Even on a personal basis, you can do that overseas as long as someone has internet, a computer. They can probably do a lot of jobs that people in the US do. So it's an interesting thing, I think, as far as my life in the last couple of years. Number 7, top 3 takeaways from small business employees, which were employees feel optimistic that we already talked about, 78%, 64% are unlikely to switch jobs. I think that also factors in because some people may not have any better options to switch to right now, whereas we saw a lot of job hopping in 2020 and 2021 when the economy was still doing well during COVID, as long as you weren't a restaurant or retail. And then automation and AI are seen as official, like we talked about, feel it's beneficial to their job and it makes their job easier. It also leads to about 1 out of every 2 employees feeling a lack of clarity on their job and their career as they're moving forward. So those are the big takeaways from the small business employees. And I thought that was interesting. If you want more information on this study, it's about 28, 29 pages. I'll put in the link here on the YouTube video in case you want to look at it later. And then here's the message from, I don't want to say her name wrong, but I think it's Shruti Patel, Executive VP at US Bank, who signed off on this study. But some of the key findings, like we said, 9 out of 10. So we're looking at number 1 here for small business owners, employees. But 9 out of 10 owners report feeling optimistic toward the future of their business. And a majority say their business has grown over the last year. So that's 73%. Number 2, small business owners are feeling the impact of their top stressors, competition, the economic environment, and inflation. Not surprising there. You can see the percentages where competition is number 1, economic environment's close behind number 2, inflation's up there. Supply chain disruptions, those are still going on. Those are still lingering on from COVID when it was really bad in 2020 and 2021. But you can see it's still an issue here in 2024. And then lastly, 42% of you guys, small business owners, said that they are having a hard time obtaining enough funding to support their business. So to keep the business operating, to make sure that whenever you're in a tight pinch, you need that line of credit or a term loan to buy maybe some equipment, it's not out there for you. It is. So that's where this is the main thing that I want to harp on, because I know you are coming here to my channel to watch my videos to learn more about what other options are out there as far as lending, whether it's an online lender, an online bank. There's better options than merchant cash advance. Merchant cash advance dominates the market as far as what they're spending on advertising, or brokers buy your information from data providers and calling you because you showed an interest in funding. Well, I would say that there's a lot more options for you all out there other than high interest, unsecured merchant cash advance loan. That's why I'm here. Now, with that, I would imagine that if you're watching this video, you're going through and you're still staying on here, that you're having a hard time obtaining enough funding too. There's, in addition to the bank term loans, the lines of credit, there's SBA loans, SBA 7A. That's a working capital program. You get up to $5 million. It's backed by the U.S. government. SBA stands for the Small Business Administration. And on top of that, there's grants. The U.S. provides grants federally. There's state grants. There's local grants. There's grants provided by larger corporations. It's not just to minorities. Typically, there's a lot of money going to minorities in those grants, or whether it's funding for research and development or things like that. But there's a lot of grants out there that you all can take advantage of. So we can help you out there. But those are typically what I can do. After that, if you're looking for more than $5 million, there are, there's bigger lenders out there that will do restructuring deals, recapitalization deals, or if you're looking to buy equipment, typically a lot of that can be done with the bank too. But if you already have bank loans, then I can help you out there as well, depending on what your needs are. To give you all a little bit of information, if you all want to look through more of this study. I think it's pretty interesting. They have a lot of numbers in here. I wasn't going on, but the basic thing is a lot of small business owners, maybe like yourself, are still feeling very optimistic about the future as well as the upcoming year. They did cite that some small business owners, or it's right here, I wouldn't say worried about the political environment, but it's one of the things that they're thinking of, one of the things that they're stressing over. But the main things are inflation, disruption of the supply chain, competition. So we're not surprised by seeing those types of numbers.